Hey there Assassins, this is Pegasus177 and welcome to Assassin School. This is a series I started last year but I never got to finish it because a friend of mine passed away unfortunately. So now I'm going to go back through it all again. I'm going to teach you the skills you need to become great at this game. I'm not saying that I'm brilliant, but I'm pretty good and confidence is key in this game. But anyway, let's get on with it. Now we're going to be sticking with free-for-all modes, and the objective to all free-for-all modes is to effectively pursue and kill your target. Your second objective is to avoid being killed by your own pursuer. Okay, so with that in mind, we're going to be going through the system. Now first of all, it works in a triangulation system. You are after your target. Okay, now you also have somebody who is after you, and normally what I mean by triangulation system is that normally the person that you are targeting is pursuing the person who is targeting you. So it works in a triangulation system. Now this is not always the way. Obviously you can have maybe 2, 3 or 4 pursuers after one person, but this is the general basis for any idea. Now it doesn't work on most kills. It's slow and clean kills mean more points, and the point system is as follows. You have an approach meter which goes from 150 to 450. Hidden doubles the score. A bench or a grab kill triples the score. You can get poacher, saved, first blood, finish or revenge. They're each worth 50. Poison dart is worth 300, poison itself is worth 400, pistol is 150, and an aerial kill can be anything from 150 to 300. Now the point system on defense, a stun is worth 200, to contest a kill is 100 points, and it cuts your pursuer's score in half. A lure is worth 100 and can be crafted up to 300. All these points add up in a variety of ways to make your scoring of each kill and each game. Now this is the heads up display on each screen. On the top here you have your score. On the left of it you have your position on the scoreboard. The right is your pursuers and the number of pursuers you have. On top of that is the match clock. To the right here you have your target portrait. On top of that you have your approach meter and any bonuses that may be attached. For instance, I have a buy 2 because I am currently blending with this NPC right here. With that in mind, once I stay within reach of this person or within close proximity, then I will be able to double my score. Now as you can see, my portrait lit up blue. That is because my target just popped into my line of sight. Once I stay next to this person and I approach my target, the approach meter will fill. I will keep my by 2 score and I will be able to take them out. Now you also hear heartbeats and whispers. Heartbeats means that your target is nearby. Blue portrait means your target is in your line of sight. A zoomed portrait means you are close, and whispers means your pursuer is close. Always at the start of every game, it's worth checking out what the competition is in the pre-match lobby. Check out who are prestige players, and you can look through their stats if you want to. You can click on each of them just to see what you're up against in each game. Another thing I would also suggest, and something I do a lot, choose your character based on the blendability. Think of the map texture and the colour when choosing the character. When you become skilled, character selection won't really matter. You'll be able to excel no matter what character you choose. Also, another thing I would suggest, try and make a mental note or a photographic image of all the characters that are competing in the current match. This will have you a little bit more prepared for who you're going to be facing off against and who to watch out for. Now in this game I'm using stuff that you will all be able to get pretty early in the game. Disguise, time warp, knife, 6th sense, recovery, streak of 250, and a last streak is vision. This is a pretty good loadout, and you get all of these things pretty early in the game too, so that's really good. I still use these even now after prestiging a bit, and they're still very effective. I'm going to give a small detailed description on each thing that I'm using. But before that, I just need to make it very clear, guys. One thing I see a lot is people rushing around the map. There's no need to be too passive or too aggressive in this game. If you're passive, you're going to lose contracts like I just did. And if you're too aggressive, you're going to rush and you're going to make mistakes. As you can see here, I'm hearing heavy whispers. Now obviously my pursuer is over the wall, but I accidentally made the mistake of rushing into it and I ended up killing an NPC. If a target or a pursuer were nearby, they could have capitalized on this and I would have been in a heap of trouble. Okay, let's look at what I'm using. First of all, disguise. Disguise makes you look like a different character for a time period. That doesn't need much explanation. Obviously you can use it to evade pursuers or get close to targets. The second thing I'm using is time warp. This slows all players it affects and removes their ability to lock for a brief period. Now you can capitalize on this by using objects or NPCs to avoid a death. As you can see here, my pursuer is coming in. I break out my time warp, run around the tree to cause a little bit of confusion, and I'm able to pick up the stun. And immediately the animus rewarded me and gave me that person as a target. Now, one of the perks that I'm using in this game is Sixth Sense. This points an arrow at any pursuer or target moving in an unusual manner. Killing, stunning, running or climbing will give them away once it's in my line of sight. As you can see here, the compass is going to shine up bright red with an arrow pointing behind me. This is because my pursuer is acting in an erratic manner behind me. The arrow pointing blue out in front means that my target is also acting in an erratic manner. This can be pretty useful, you can capitalize on this. I was a little slow off the mark here in picking up my target. He started running, but as you can tell, it can be very useful and very effective, especially in. Third ability I'm using is my ranged ability. It's Annoys. These slow your opponent and disable them for a brief moment. There is a slight delay in the effect, so just be wary of it. As you can see here, my target or my pursuer was coming towards me. I threw the knife a little bit too late. They were within range and they were able to pick up the kill. Also, knife stuns no longer work in the same way. When you throw a knife now, you have to stun before the opponent pulls out the knife. Walk slowly towards them at an angle and mash the X or square button depending on your console. I'm also using recovery as my second perk. This is very passive. This is just a perk that returns any ability if you die immediately after using it. As you can see here, I started chasing my pursuer and the approach meter will not go above 100 to 150. This means that I will get the least amount of points possible, but you have to be situational and remember every situation you come into. I use the bench here to maximize my score. I end up getting a triple of my score, which is 150, bringing it up to 450. I also got the revenge because they were the last person to kill me, bringing the score to 500. So you have to think in every situation, you have to react fast, use the surroundings. If there's an area to hide, you can double your score. If there's a bench, you can triple your score. Just always be thinking when you're moving and always be using the environment around you to maximize the score that you get. Locking and line of sight are very important to get a kill. As you can see here, I broke the line of sight before he could lock me. I ended up getting a corner stun. This is one of the oldest techniques being used ever since Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It's just to break the line of sight, and when they come running for you, you turn the corner and you knock them out before they get to lock you again. You don't need a line of sight to keep a player locked. Once they're on your camera view, the lock will stay. With this in mind, use corners and walls to your advantage and break your pursuer's lock. Remember, if you're standing around the corner of a wall but you can see your pursuer, then you will be able to keep the lock on them, but their lock will break after 3 to 5 seconds. Another thing, remember the triangulation system I was on about? Just because somebody is chasing you, more than likely it means that your target is chasing them. As you can see, my target moved inside and my pursuer was coming up behind me. I ran away, letting my target kill the pursuer, and I was able to move in and kill my target. As always, every situation is dependent on how you handle it and how well you come out of it. I managed to evade here and make sure that the person in second place did not get a score off me, while still picking up a score off my target. I can't stress how important it is that you try and avoid running at all costs. We are currently playing deathmatch. This means that the map is small. It's going to be a very small map. There's not really much need for you to be running here. The only time you would ever need to run in this is if you wanted to force the chase out of your pursuer and bring their score down. Patience is key. A slow, clean approach in all kills will maximize your score. Just always be aware of that. Another thing is there is no need to be on a roof. If you're on a roof for more than 5 seconds or up on a height in deathmatch, then you're doing something wrong. Just take advantage of every situation. Try and make complete use of the map and your movement around the map. This will benefit you and you will be able to maximize out any score that you get from any situation. You probably also heard me having a little bit of rage there. If you're playing on Xbox One, guys, turn off your Connect. I don't want to be listening to your background noise when you're playing a game, please. Thank you very much. Back to the lessons, basically. Just always try and move around the map in a situation that you know will benefit you. but be very aware of whispers and heartbeats. I got a bit of tunnel vision here because I saw my target in front of me, and I knew I could hear whispers, but I kind of ignored them, thinking that I would reach my target first. The best way to win a game is by capitalizing on other people's mistakes. Second place here is over across from me. They're my target. They threw a knife at me, but they never bothered to capitalize on it. They never came in for the stun, meaning that they left me to walk slowly up to him. I was able to fill my approach meter, and I was actually able to get complete points for that kill. Another thing is line of sight. If an enemy is next to a lookalike, break line of sight to one of them or the rest of them and just kind of work out. I went behind the wall here just to see if that would break the line of sight. It didn't, so it was obviously the outside one. Again, I ignored the whispers, which was my mistake, and I ended up paying the price for it. When new people join the game, always go to the scoreboard just to check the lobby, see who's after joining. Just be aware, you don't want to be caught out by a new character in the game killing you or cutting you off in the middle of an approach that you did not expect to be in the game. So it's always worth just checking the scoreboard and seeing what characters are after coming in. Another thing that I would suggest is if you get out in the lead, always try and hold a 1000 point clearance from second place. This is my state of practice. I normally try and get out ahead, stay about 1000 points ahead of any other competition, just to ensure my lead is held right to the end of the match clock. Always be patient as well, guys. Be very patient when going for kills. I waited for my target to come around near me. I knew there was a lot of activity around me, so I just waited. I said he'd have to be coming this direction at some stage, so I was just holding out and waiting for him to come along. Remember, in every situation you're trying to maximize your score. As I made my way around here, I decided to hook up with an NPC. Just once you're standing within proximity of him, you will see this kind of haze layout texture on the ground. This means that you're in a hidden group and it'll double your score on each kill. You can leave that hidden group and for a good 2 seconds the double score will still remain. The same thing also applies to bench kills. You can get off a bench and you'll have a full 2 seconds to get to your target and still pick up that by 3 on your score. When you're looking at any situation, always be aware of the surroundings. As you can see here, my target is after using Glimmer. I made sure that I studied, made sure that there was no other lookalikes around him, and just picked up on the outline of the actual glimmered target. Coming down to the last minute of every game, things kind of go a little bit crazy. People normally start running around the map and going nuts. You don't have to join into the madness. A lot of people end up capitalizing. If you're in a close second here, this is the best time to actually pick up points to take the lead. There's no point to going crazy or running around like a nutcase, which is what everyone seems to do, as if last kill is going to bring them into first place or something like that. Just be patient. If you're after holding your lead and you're after playing well, you'll be out in front and there'll be nothing to worry about. And if everyone else is running around and you're in second by 25 points or 30 points, then you just have to wait it out and your target will more than likely run straight across your path. Okay guys, that's it for the first episode. I'm going to go through this whole series again. I'm going to talk about free-for-all modes first of all, tips and tricks for them. I'm going to go through the abilities and the perks and how they're beneficial, how they're not so beneficial, the differences from previous Assassin's Creed titles, and we're also going to look at team modes, how to benefit team modes, and how to just overall become a better player at Assassin's Creed. I know this game confuses a lot of people, it bugs a lot of people because they don't get it. The tutorial is always worth playing, and when I say it's worth playing, it's worth paying attention to, because it will give you plenty of tips and tricks that a lot of people just don't seem to pick up. I think a lot of people jump straight into the multiplayer and they just go by that and they try and pick it up and they haven't got a clue what's happening. So stick with me guys, we're going to go through it. Hope you liked the video. If you did like it, please hit that like button and share it around Google Plus or whatever they do now. Thanks for watching. Peace.